Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome to the Peach Pod. That would have been Born Under a Bad Sign by Albert King. That was playing when Dylan was playing Falcone in the pool hall. The pool hall where bad things happen and you know that it's horrible because you're in a pool hall. I am Jeff, and when Bernie Goldfinger talks, I listen. And joining me on the other end of the internet is my co-host.
I'm Leslie, and I get a real rush from the garlic.
Yeah, I'll say.
Where the hell is she from?
I don't know, but I mean, she's not going to go back there. You know, because it's not Hawaii. She's not from Hawaii.
No, she's not.
She's definitely going somewhere because she ain't staying here.
Yeah, forget the Dylan impression. I want to figure out an Iris impression because that dialect is something else.
It's really something. So, as everyone can tell, we are talking this week about Season 2, Episode 10, Necessity is a Mother, first aired September 26th, 1991. And this is when we finally meet Iris for the first time.
Oh, boy.
So, before we talk about Iris, is there anything that we need to discuss in the dumpster fire that is Ashes to Ashes?
Oh no, I think we put that one out. I think that fire died down. I think the phoenix has already been born from it.
Iris, arisen from the ashes to ashes.
Oh, she would. Appropriative piece of crap, mother.
All right, so let's talk about what happens in this episode that clearly has you slightly fired up.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't blame you. So, Dylan has been talking for weeks now that Iris lives here, and we've never seen proof of it other than his continued mood swings. But we meet her. We meet Iris. Dylan's not doing so good. He's playing pool, which this is the first time we've seen how detrimental pool can be, and that will continue to happen throughout the seasons. When someone plays pool, when someone plays pool, it's not good. Mostly it's Dylan. It's a bad sign.
Man, come on. Don't ruin pool for me.
I know. They're not the Ludwig von.
Fucking Harold Hill.
I know. He was right.
Stealing your joke.
No, he was right. You know, this is an episode that is filled with trouble. Trouble with a capital T that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Trouble. Yeah. So Dylan goes to the pool hall. Dylan drinks. Iris doesn't know how to handle him, so she goes to a mine gym. But Cindy doesn't mind Jim. Boom!
Ooh!
What I did?
Oh!
What I did with that? It doesn't make any sense, but I said it.
It doesn't matter. I love it.
I feel great about it.
As you should.
Yeah. Dylan hits rock bottom. Donna and Steve play the stock market. Iris gives up and leaves town. That's what happens in this episode.
Yep.
Would you like to begin with her dialect, or is there something else that is like striking to you?
I mean, I know it's a weird
thing. What
you
expected? Is Iris what you expected? I guess. Let me ask you that.
No.
What you think about her?
And okay, so for this new age hippy dippy mom game she's got going on, she puts it aside whenever she wants to be in control. Like, Dylan, we're going home. It's like, I thought you were cool.
Right.
See, this is where, like, I think my thoughts are going to be all over the place on her.
Totally
just
fine.
Like she is. Because like most people wanting to dabble into other cultures or other philosophies, she is nitpicking.
Oh, she's picks probably, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this thing. I like this thing. Oh, I still like capitalism.
Right. Yeah.
you know? And, I thought a really poignant moment, and also truly reflective of the kind of mother she is. She asks Cindy, like, where have all the flower children gone? And,
Right.
Cindy answers, like, to power jobs or
Children.
something.
Yeah, they become power children. Yeah.
They
The
become power
Yetis.
children, which I thought, like, millennials, like, we're always asking what happened to boomers. This is
Hmm.
it. Like, Cindy
Yeah.
just answered this for us.
Yes.
Um, but also, like, Iris thinks she's above it, and she's so not, because again, she wants the power of being a mom without the work, and she wants him to just fall in line because, well, I'm your mother. It's like,
Right.
honey, you left though.
Yeah. She
And
did.
granted, like, I don't think it's necessarily a kid's right to say, like, at least before 18. Well, okay, I'm going to retract that. I don't. No, I'll go with it. In a case like this, I don't think it's fair for Dylan, any kid, to tell their parent, I don't want you in my life.
Hmm.
However, he kind of has a point.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you first, which it wasn't made clear to me why she left. She hints at, like, Mr. McKay, whatever his name is, wanting,
Jack.
like,
Yeah.
Jack paying her off.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much weird stuff, like, loosely put in. Anyway,
There is.
I think she's all over the place. She doesn't really know what she wants. She just wants it easy. She's kind of doing the thing that we make fun of too now, like, good vibes only. I'm
Right.
keeping this away. You know what? I'm going to walk away from this, and not
Mhm.
deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she's doing. Like, you're not
That's what she
helping.
does.
You're not making anything better. Like, you're just looking out for yourself, which,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so here's I mean, there's a lot of issues to be had with Iris. She and but one of the things I don't have a problem with, although I think it's weird that they hang it on this. I don't think Iris's problem is that she's a flower child who won't grow up. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the I don't know why they make her to be that, because it feels like they're saying she's not a good mother because she's too hippy dippy. When in reality, she's not a good mother. Period.
Yeah.
End of sentence. She's a terrible mother. It's not because she's a hippie. She is also that, but that's not causation. She left when he was 6.
yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter why she left.
Okay.
If you're Dylan,
True.
right? So if you're Dylan, who cares why she left? She left. It doesn't matter that Jack paid her off or whatever. His mom still walked out.
Yeah.
And now she's come back because she sees an opening and she expects no repercussions from what she did. None at all, except for to be like slightly judged by people in Beverly Hills, which doesn't seem like something she would care about to begin with.
Have you met the other parents?
Yeah, there's that. I mean, and Kelly gives you the brief rundown. Yeah, Kelly gives you the brief rundown in the quad. But I mean, and not even to mention, like, David's dad, like, whatever's going on with him, every time David has told a story about his dad, it's been that he did something terrible. Or he cheated on his mom and he like won't come out of his midlife crisis, and he like lost a shit ton of money on the stock market. Like, it's just, that's a thing that happens to people, not that he did that.
And yet we're supposed to like him and Jackie. I don't know. Like, right. Now I'm worried for Jackie.
Right. Sure. Well, I mean, David hasn't given you reason not to worry. But so all of the parents are a mess, and Iris only would like their forgiveness. She just expects it from Dylan because I'm your mother.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have it to give because she hasn't earned it. And then she's like, I can't do this. It's too hard. I left him when he was 6. He's never going to forgive me for that. So I'm going to leave again. Here's a bunch of money. Yeah. Like that's Iris's problem. It's not that she goes to mind gyms. Like, do what you got to do to try to, be happy in your life, Iris. I don't care. Live on a pineapple mountain. That's totally fine. But when you walk out on your kid and then your only solution to the problem of he's mad at me because I walked out on him is to walk out on him again, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a terrible person, and it doesn't matter that you're a hippie.
Yeah. Yeah. The lack of actual help that people gave Dylan this week was astonishing. And I get it to some extent because Jim makes a really good point. He's like, listen, the time for feeling bad for him is over. Like, his problems are his own and they have been growing for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, Jim is trying to set a good boundary by saying, this is not our kid. We care about him, but this is not our kid. We can't do anything. And like,
right.
I like too that he told Brenda, I kind of need you to stop seeing him until he has his shit figured out. Because there's like, I don't know if she made this choice in her head or not, but I feel like there was some relief for Brenda. Because
she was overwhelmed again.
This is some heavy shit. No kid would know what to do, except I really thought Brandon, I really thought both of them would have known. I'm sorry I'm yelling in the mic, but I really thought both of them would have known, hey, our friend is in our presence and he's drunk. Maybe we shouldn't send him away.
Right.
Maybe we should go get mom and dad. Or maybe we should, like, I get where, like, Brenda tried to play hardball kind of and be like, if you're going to drink, you better get the hell out of my house. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, all right, well, I'll go. And it's like, fuck. Don't let him leave.
Right. Yeah.
There were many questionable choices made, and I can forgive the kids, except they're in high school. They should know to go to an adult.
That would have been potentially helpful, except, as previously stated, we have met these adults.
Oh, you're right. Damn.
They may be a little bit on their own. Where's Nat?
Where's Nat? Where's Henry? I've already forgotten his name.
It'd be nice if somebody go talk to Henry. He probably knows something.
Miss Teasdale?
Miss Teasley.
Teasley. Where's Miss Teasley?
Yeah, she's like, I've never been clear on what Miss Teasley's job is. Like, I think she's the vice principal or the principal or a guidance counselor. It's one of the other. But she could certainly be helpful. So I think that's a good transition. Let's start talking about what we think this episode might really be about. And one of the things I had is that this episode might be about how people don't know how to love or to be loved. Because everyone here, to your point, is trying.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing kind of the best they can. Iris is doing the best she can in that what she can do is very, very little. Yeah. I mean, she's clearly incapable of the tiniest amount of parental effort that isn't, come home, where have you been? That's all she's got. Yeah, here's some breakfast finally. I've lived here for 3 weeks. Here's breakfast. And Brenda it is very difficult to know what to do with an addict who is actively engaged in their addiction. Mm-hmm. And Kelly has advice that's not terrible. It's painful.
Yeah.
But it's also what has to happen. And Brenda doesn't know how to do that. She doesn't know how to draw that line, and most people don't. They don't know. They don't know where to say stop and where to hug. They just it's really hard to figure that out. And Brenda is trying, like she's trying to help him, right? She says, "Come over tonight. I'll help you through the trig test." Not like, I can't believe you haven't been in school. Suck on this F. Like, she's like, come over, I'll help. She's trying to help. And then he doesn't show up. And then when he does, he shows up drunk and he continues to drink. And she's like, I feel like I'm not helping stop it by letting you stand here and drink. My only other option is tell you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so she does. And that, because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what to do. Yeah. And Brandon, I think, makes the best choice of them all, which is, I will make sure you get where you're going safely.
Yeah.
And try to direct this some way. Now, he can't do it. That method doesn't work either.
Yeah.
But it's better than the alternative, I think, for Dylan in that state.
That's true.
And
he at least has someone with him.
Yeah. And he doesn't know how to accept any of this, well-meaning as it is, because none of it gets to the thing that's going on with him, which I still don't think we've gotten to. You know what I mean?
No.
Because as we've laid out, it's been a lot. It's been a lot since the end of last school year, where, again, pregnancy scare, thinks his girlfriend's leaving town. She's not leaving town. She's not pregnant. She breaks up with him. They get back together. His mom comes back because his dad's gone to prison. Now he's got, there's a lot of shit going on here, and he is not handling it very well, and no one knows how to help him.
Yeah.
And they're all trying and not succeeding.
Yeah.
And that's super tough, to
say the least. And yeah, I just wonder how much more would have been realistic. Part of me wonders, could Cindy and Jim not have gotten it through to Iris a bit more, like he needs help. Mm-hmm. You need to talk to him. If you're not going to, you need to find people who he will talk to, like adults.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids should not have to take on his emotional labor all the time. They are on their way to getting burnt out before their second senior year or whatever.
Yeah.
Honestly,
mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure on one, you can kind of see that they feel good, like, oh, thank God our house is not that way.
Right.
But they do have problems, and they're going to have problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's life. Also, like, when you put yourself in these areas where there are more people, and when there's like a whole new host of issues,
mm-hmm.
it's going to impact your life.
Yeah. And they've taken on a lot, but they also don't quite know how to do that. They don't know how to show that care and that love. And Iris, I don't know, could accept it if they gave it. I just don't know. We don't know her at all. All we know is this, is what we've seen in this episode. And she's very selfish,
That kind of goes into, I'm working on a theory of what I think this episode is about. And bear with me, because obviously, I'm a millennial.
Use this as your mind, Jim.
Oh, thank you.
Explore.
Funny segue real quick for that, because when she put on those glasses, Walter was watching and he went, oh man, is this going to be like in the Star Wars Christmas or holiday special when Uncle Crunchy or whatever, like, starts daydreaming, and I don't know.
I would have liked that. I want to see
It would have
what's
been
going
great.
on but behind Cindy's glasses. I want to see what's going on there.
Yeah. I feel like this episode is about the writers telling us how they've been impacted, or how they think this generation, Gen X, is going to be impacted by boomers
Sure.
raising them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I hate to use Mad Men as reference here, but like, obviously there was rapid change. You still had some abusive tactics used by
Mhm.
parents.
Sure.
There wasn't any talking about feelings. There was just, I feed you, you go to school, you follow the rules.
Hmm.
And so now you have Gen X trying to come up, or See, and this is where I'm confused, because I feel like there's a variety of boomers here, and I'm
Hmm.
not saying it as the insult people. Um, like, I feel like these were young boomers. These were, as they said, the flower children turned into power children,
Yeah.
and they were trying to put both values into their kids, but still not talking about the important things like emotions. Like,
Hmm.
you can go out and do things, you can be a latchkey kid, but you still need to mind me. Like,
Right.
all of these,
Hmm.
you have to do this, you should do this because I'm the parent.
Hmm.
And of course, now we're getting the problems of gentle parenting and many
Yeah.
other crazy,
I mean,
yeah,
this
reactionary
is
things.
yeah. That's what happens. You Kids rebel against their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are rebelling against very strict parents, you're going to go nuts. You're going to go out crazy time. If you're rebelling against hippies, you're going to become Alex P. Keaton. Like, that's what the whole point of Family Ties is
Oh,
like
okay.
his parents are hippies and he's Reagan. It's the
Oh,
opposite. It's the flip of that teenage rebellion. And when what you're rebelling against as a teenager is either this broken parentage situation where your parent is either absent like Iris, or an addict like Jackie, or whatever's going on with Mel, or like, how do you rebel against the nuclear family as well? Jim and Cindy still being together. How is Donna going to rebel against her parents when we finally get introduced to them not too far down the road? Um, you know, and I think that's a little bit of what's going on here. I think you're right. It's what is the impact of being raised by people who can't figure out if they're hippies or yuppies,
yeah.
you know? And because Jim and Cindy are fighting the same battle too. When Glenn came to town, they were both like, remember our days on the student newspaper? And, wouldn't it have been nice to, be Glenn out, following his passion and all of those things. And, Cindy is very drawn to that. And Jim is resentful of it, because he had to make this other choice, or didn't have to, whatever. He made this other choice.
Yeah.
And so how do you rebel against that? How do you rebel against Steve's adoptive state?
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole lot of how are the kids going to react when the parents do parent shit.
Yeah.
Specifically in
And
this episode.
And all that to say, I feel like this was their way of saying, you know what, parents, it's fine. The kids are all right. Just They're going to figure it out on their own. We can only do so much. The writers are Iris in this, honestly. Like,
Little bit, yeah.
It's kind of scary because, as we've talked about in previous episodes, and you've mentioned, you all were raised on fear.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave you all that and said, "Good luck."
Kinda. Yeah. It's
Sheesh.
weird.
I at least had Sesame Street.
Well, I mean, I had Sesame Street too, but
okay.
I didn't have Elmo. Elmo came along after me.
Well, as we now know, Elmo can't ask how we're doing without getting ripped a new one. Poor Elmo.
That was rough that was a bad day for Elmo.
See, now no one is going to check on their strong friends because of how everyone reacted to Elmo.
Oh man, I just saw the tiniest bit of that, and that was enough for me. I used this analogy the other day to describe my reaction to the story about Vince McMahon and all of the horrible, horrible shit he's done, that he's now being called to account for. But do you know the Milton Berle story? Do you know the whole thing about Milton Berle?
No, I don't.
Okay, the thing about Milton Berle is that he has a massive cock.
Okay.
Like world renown. This is a thing about Uncle Milty.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. And so there's a story that someone wanted to have like a measuring contest with him. And so they took that person took theirs out, and Uncle Milty took his out. And they were like, "Oh my God," like, "Okay, Uncle Milty wins." And he's like, "I only took out enough to win." And that's how I feel like about the thing. Like, I only took in enough to get it. Right?
Oh, that's me with all the internet drama now. Anytime on the Star Trek group page when someone has been going off about it being woke, I read just enough.
Yeah.
And I leave.
You take out just enough to win. And that's what I did with the Vince McMahon stuff. I read enough to go, "Oh, this is so fucking bad. I don't think I need any more information would not change my opinion about how bad this is. It's already as like maximum level bad." And so same thing with the Elmo. I was like, "Oh, I see what this is. Okay, I took out just enough to win. I'm moving on now. That's it. I didn't have to experience the entire thing. Just enough."
I am dumbfounded. I took out just enough to win. My God.
Amazing story. It's such a funny story.
Oh man, that's amazing.
I know. Isn't that amazing? All right. We've here's
deviated.
That's fine. Uncle Milty. Well, Uncle Milty was in an episode of 90210, so we haven't gone that
What?
far. Yep.
Oh God. Well, that's going to be distracting.
You got to wait a little bit. But from what I hear told from Jenny and Tori, the guys were very interested in this aspect of Milton Berle and asked him about it.
Of course they did.
Yeah, of course they did.
They're boys.
Yep. So anyway, when we get to the Uncle Milty episode in season 5, I guess we can take out just enough to win there too. So just as a button on not knowing how to love or be loved, Kelly's trying with Donna, but she's doing a terrible job at it. She doesn't know how to protect Donna from her own whims.
Yeah.
Doesn't really need that protection. But she's very reactive to people trying to protect her from herself. So,
and I was so thankful for how that subplot ended, because I was getting so sick of people calling her stupid or implying that she's stupid, because everyone towed the line. They didn't actually, except for Steve saying, she may look like a dumb blonde. And I'm like, no, Steve, that's you.
Yeah. No, Kelly told her, don't be stupid. And so did Steve. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. I still think that's like towing the line on calling someone stupid because they're saying
Sure.
don't be. It's
Gotcha,
like you
gotcha,
still
gotcha.
have the opportunity to not do the thing that will make me call you stupid.
Right.
And anytime people say don't be this, it's not helpful.
No, it's not. And have you seen A Fish Called Wanda?
Yes, I have.
Don't call me stupid. Donna is Kevin Kline.
Lucky. I want to be Kevin Kline.
There is a double Jamie Lee Curtis going on in this episode
Oh.
because of her being in A Fish Called Wanda. And
Uh-huh.
also, Dylan is very much Jamie Lee Curtis in that episode of The Bear that she was in.
Which I don't know.
Which
But I'll
is so
trust you.
sad. I will not spoil it because it is holy fuck. But she cannot abide being asked if she's okay.
Ooh, I feel that.
Yeah, and when someone cannot stop themselves from asking if she's okay, things go very bad. Like in an over the top, holy fuck kind of way, they go very bad. And Dylan can't handle it either.
I'm so glad I'm not that far gone yet because there are definitely days when people ask me, or I think if you ask me how are you,
Right.
I can't promise you it's going to be pretty what comes out.
Right. Yeah. And that's don't go Jamie Lee Curtis.
I won't. I won't. Knowing about emotional labor has helped me curb the blunt factor so
There you
much.
go. Good. Curbing the blunt. I don't
need to bring you all down with me.
I don't think curbing the blunt means what I think it means, but that's okay.
We're gonna.
It means
I like
you
it.
take your blunt and you put it out on the curb. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Curb your blunt.
I was about to say gross, but then I went, oh wait, you're not smoking that end.
It's true. Yeah. Although I mean, I don't want to shove things on the ground and then put them in my mouth. That seems
Knowing
unpleasant.
New York, you might get a little extra something with that.
That's true. You get a lot of extra something. Like,
which could be good or bad depending because of all the fentanyl ads.
yes. Well, or just human fecal matter. Like it could be anything. Yeah, exactly. So when I was watching this episode on my rewatch earlier today, I was at first struck with what a terrible job that teacher did in the stock market thing, where Donna and Steve are discussing in front of the whole class whether they should sell this stock or whether they should keep it because Steve thinks it's going to go up. And the teacher's only advice is to quote the gambler, Kenny Rogers, and say, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And I was going to mock him for that, but I actually think that that's one of the things this episode is about. I think the B plot is 100%, not 100%, because some of it is don't call me stupid. But the rest of it is you got to know when to get out. And Donna does and Steve doesn't. And she makes money and Steve loses money. And Iris needs to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And she folds them.
Yeah.
And
barely looking at him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's folding tarot cards. Let's be real.
Like, I feel the energy of these cards.
Typical Scorp.
You have a negative aura about you.
She ain't wrong about that. But I think some of Brenda's negative aura is directed squarely at Iris for being as horrible person as she is in this episode. But I mean, I think that's how the two things are thematically linked. Those two storylines are, when do you cut your losses? And the only person that I'm sure gets it right is Donna.
Yeah.
Like she got out, she bought low and she sold high. And that's what you're supposed to do. Steve could not bear himself to do that, get himself to do that. And Iris, I think we're agreed Iris puts in the least amount of effort possible.
Yeah. Like, I think she's afraid of Dylan. I think she's afraid to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks just by being there that maybe he'll come to her. Except
Right.
as he's told us, as we've learned from him, like sometimes she's not there. She's at the mind gym or doing other shit. And it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how to with you, Iris.
Nobody does. And so it's good that she's back in Hawaii. But I don't know why you wouldn't try staying in Los Angeles, but maybe not living with Dylan. Like maybe trying to build a different kind of relationship, one that would actually help him.
Yeah.
One that isn't based on I'm your mother, I said so, and more based on you clearly can handle the day-to-day shit on your own. I'm here. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be a presence. And
he needs to learn how to rely on people.
Yeah.
And you constantly leaving doesn't help with that.
Doesn't do it.
He's never going to trust.
Yeah. And he's got the Walshes, but Brenda was just told that she can't see him. And I don't know how long that's going to last because Dylan may have hit his bottom and he may be on the way back up. We're certainly left to believe that at the end of the episode, that this was Dylan's rock bottom. And I think that the thing Kelly tells Brenda, I think is interesting because she's saying like the only way, like I was trying to help my mom.
Yeah.
And me helping her was the opposite of help because she knew she could keep drinking because she knew I'd be there to pick up the pieces. And you've got to let him collapse and then start to pick himself back up again. And I think that's what we're supposed to think we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
He goes back and plays pool, which we already know is a bad idea.
Fuck.
He has a beer and a shot and more, like keeps on drinking.
Mm-hmm.
His money, loses money, gets the shit kicked out of him, loses Brenda because he's gone so far over the line that Jim is like cutting him off. He's lost Jim and Cindy, kinda, which is like the surrogate family he had. The only thing he can't seem to lose is his mom. She just won't fucking go away.
Yeah.
And then she does. Which is what Kelly said he needs to happen. The addict needs to see that they're on their own with this and can't keep doing it. But that's not the message of Iris leaving for Dylan.
No.
It's not, I'm leaving because I can't be here to watch you hurt yourself. It's, I'm leaving because peace out. Here's some money.
Like, I can't do this. You won't let me, so I'm going to listen to you. Like, she's not taking on any responsibility as a parent.
None. Nope. Just like, but she wants to pat herself on the back for the fact that she never spent any of Jack's money. And now here it is.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much money this is, but it's a lot. Because Dylan is now rich. And also owns a Craftsman home. Apparently. This is his house, by the way. This is the house Dylan will always live in from here on out that we just saw for the first time in this episode.
Where did he get this house?
I don't know. I was trying to remember because I've been watching going like at the beginning he's living in that hotel and then he's got, gets kicked out of the hotel and he's living in a different house that his dad has. And we haven't seen this house in a little while, but I know this house is coming. I assumed it came after Iris was here and gave him a bunch of money, and then he bought a house. Maybe Iris owns this house. I don't know, but this is where Dylan is going to live from now on.
Wow.
Yep. Well, almost from now on.
This emancipated kid owns a house.
Yeah, he owns a house.
Long before I will ever own a house.
Well, your dad didn't commit securities fraud.
God damn it, Dad.
I know. See, this is another problem with boomer parents. Either they do or don't commit securities frauds, and we're forced to deal with the repercussions. Bunch of assholes.
All I can do is shake my head.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah.
I can't cry anymore over it.
I mean, I can't erase the past, but maybe I can do something about the future. Like leaving and giving Dylan a lot of money.
Dylan!
Dylan! Oh,
Dylan!
Brenda. Brenda yells at an adult. It's not Brandon this time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I mean, I don't blame her because Iris was going off on like, oh, he's drinking because of you all. And it's like, no, bitch. Also, these are kids. Like,
right.
Accountability starts with a capital A.
Yeah. It shouldn't be Brandon's job to do this.
Yeah. It's not Brandon's job. It's not Brenda's job. Also, how dare you say he's tough to love, isn't he? How dare you?
Oh, that's so shitty.
Mother. You are, like...
You're the cause of a lot of this shit.
Like, believe me, sometimes you don't need to hear someone say you're tough to love, and you can hear it anyway.
Right.
Or don't actually say it.
Yeah. It's
like, you don't get to say that.
No,
you don't get to want to be...
No.
You don't get to want to be in his life and say he's tough to love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous, especially when you leave at 6, come back at 18, and stay for a month.
What did you think was going to happen? You thought he do you have any idea the back and forth emotionally children have gone through in that time when they're healthy?
Right. No, she doesn't. Because she has a tree house on a pineapple farm or whatever the fuck.
I think she needs to go live in a pineapple under the sea.
Well, why would you want to do that to SpongeBob?
Because I don't like him.
You don't like SpongeBob?
I never liked SpongeBob.
I mean, I don't have an opinion on SpongeBob, but I thought he was universally sort of approved of. All right, what's your beef with SpongeBob? I need to know what he did.
I mean, to be fair, too, I didn't get satellite TV until, like, middle school.
Okay.
And so, I don't know, it never appealed to me. And I think I was told, or it seemed strongly implied, that this show would make you dumber. And I, if anyone hasn't figured out by now, have always been afraid of being perceived as dumb.
That's interesting. So, I bet you it was grown-ups who told you that.
I'm sure it was.
You know, because like that's the same thing people would say about The Simpsons or South Park or Family Guy or whatever. And I'm not the hugest Family Guy fan, but I'll tell you this: The Simpsons and South Park are not stupid. Those shows are the humor in those shows is very smart. But why are you watching that dumb show? You know, like that show's for idiots. So I feel like that was. I bet SpongeBob doesn't make you dumber. I bet it's just adults didn't like it.
No, I mean it certainly doesn't make you any dumber than like Little Einstein.
Motherfucker, Little Einstein. Did you
say that because you
know? Did you say that because you know how much I hated Little Einsteins?
I didn't, but I'm so glad I hit on something for you.
We're gonna have to talk about Little Einsteins, guys, and I wasn't prepared to do this today. I hated that show so much. It flames on the side of my face, heaving breaths. Okay, Little Einsteins. First of all, Big Jet is a jerk. Fuck off, Big Jet. Why are you such an asshole? Second, this show, it made none of the stories made any sense. Like they would have to solve a riddle in order to do something. Like they would have to cross like a floor that if you stepped on this thing, it was the right sound or whatever. And the way that they figured everything out had nothing ever to do with logic. There were logic holes you could drive trucks through on this show. For 1-year-olds, and I understand that, but it doesn't have to be actually fucking stupid. And then there was the episode where they clearly just gave up on ideas. They had nothing. And they just made Quincy. Was Quincy the kid's name, Laura? I think it was Quincy. Just made gibberish sounds the whole episode. And it wasn't like spitting or something. He would just make noises. And that was the plot. The plot was this kid is making noises today. Fuck you, little Einsteins. I hate you so much. Oh, I hate that show. Oh, and here's the best part. My mom has a dryer, and her dryer makes noises when it goes off, and it doesn't just go like a normal person's dryer. Hers plays a song, and the song she plays was in an episode of Little Einsteins, and these are the words they put to that song. My silly socks have pizza, bananas, and a little fish. And now whenever I'm at my mom's and her dryer goes off, I have to sing that stupid shit. Can't help it. There's no option. Motherfucker, Little Einstein. Hate it.
I'm so glad I took children in the media to learn that factoid, to bring it up now and experience what you just gave us.
The rage I have at this stupid show. Oh, I hated it so much. I didn't hate Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, I love that show.
Like at first,
but the old one. The old one.
Well, I mean,
not watching the newer one.
I don't watch the new. I mean, I watched it 10 years ago when I had a 1-year-old, 2-year-old. My first thought when I watched that show was, why do the people on the island of Sodor keep letting these trains make choices? Trains are always doing the shit wrong. They do it wrong twice, and then they do it right the third time.
Yeah, but they're bigger than the humans.
Here's the thing that I figured out, and it took me probably 18 months of constant exposure to Thomas the Tank Engine to figure this out. The people, Sir Topham Hatt and the conductors, right? The Sir Topham Hatt and the conductors are parents, and Thomas and all the trains are our kids.
Oh my God.
And we have to let them make these choices. We have to let them make mistakes. That's the only way they're going to figure it out and learn. That's what's going on the island of Sodor.
Or they lock you up. They close in a tunnel if you don't listen to them.
and Henry deserved that punishment.
Oh my God.
That was so
when they played that clip, Walter was sitting beside me, astonished, and I went, I remember this episode.
That's so funny. I did not remember that episode, but that was messed up.
I remembered a train getting blocked in anyway, because, like, you don't forget those eyes.
That's some Cask of Amontillado shit right there. Like, if you're not familiar with Cask of Amontillado, I highly recommend listening to Vincent Price read it. It is creepy and really, really good.
No, I know it.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Wow.
But the island of Sodor still seemed like a nice place to be.
Yes, it does.
But Little Einsteins can shove it with walnuts. And I think that's all that needs to be said about that.
What a great episode.
Oh, I did not expect it. Thank you for letting me tee off on Little Einsteins.
Hell yeah.
That felt really good. Anything else that this episode might really be about?
No, I think we got it.
Okay. So what did this make you nostalgic for?
Something not that long ago. When I lived back in Portland a few years ago, pre-pandemic, and Walter and I were newly dating, there was a bar. Every Monday nights, they, had their deal on beer or whatever, and then they had a pool table, and we would go there and play pool for like
Nice.
a few hours, and it was a lot of fun. highly recommend going to play pool for dates, unless that's not your thing or
Mhm.
you have a problem like Dylan. And I greatly miss that bar, those days, because playing pool in New York, like everything else here, costs an organ.
Yeah.
Like
We
when
go
the bartender said $15 for
hmm
like, oh, you've been playing for 3 hours, yeah,
hmm
15. I was like, you bitch.
Yeah, $5 an hour. That was the going rate. Yeah. It is considerably more expensive than that now. Um, I know because I've been playing pool with like there's a pool. Like Liam's last birthday was at like a pool hall. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty cool. You could rent a couple tables for a couple hours or whatever, and it's like
don't you
renting
know
a
their
alley.
trouble?
I do now. I mean, I always did, but Liam had a concert last week, and I dropped them off, and I'm looking for parking, and Laura sends me a picture, and she's like, "Liam's playing pool with the guys in his band," and I'm like, "That's the coolest sentence I've ever heard."
Aww.
That sentence. Your kid is playing pool with the members of his band. That's just objectively cool. I like
Your
it a lot.
son's cooler than me.
Not cooler than me, but whatever. Who is?
I didn't say you.
I just. It's important for me to say how good I am as often as possible. I thought you would know that by now.
Nope.
This my nostalgia corner for this is also pool related, and it's very specifically for that part of the Jim Croce song. You don't mess around with Jim, where he says, "Jim found out where it's at." And it's not hustling people strange to you, even if you do own a 2-piece custom made pool cue. And that is a very specific moral to take from a song. Like maybe don't hustle pool is the moral of this story, and I like it. So you don't mess around with Jim. You don't mess around with Falcone. He'll take you in the alley and have his friends beat you up just so you know he's serious.
Great fight scene. She said.
Oh yeah, how do you feel about the choreography on the fight scene?
Oh, it's hilarious. Jason Priestley clearly knew that the one being held down is the one that has to sell it. Like you're not when you're doing fight choreo, the one being hurt needs to be the one selling it. You know, you should barely be touching them if you're the abuser.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone who wasn't even getting hit, Jason was selling it.
Hell yeah. Look, this is Wrestling 101. You got to sell the bump. Like, if it doesn't look like it hurt, then there's no story.
Like, and then I feel like the extras weren't even trying. Like, he's just trying to do his job, and they're, like, barely there. Like, hey, we're never going to get work again. It's like, well, not with that attitude.
There's a... Jalen Rose is a basketball commentator, former NBA player, college player, whatever. And he has this thing where when he's watching an NBA game and people are getting ready to get in a fight, he's like, oh, there's always the one guy who's like, hold me back. Hold me back. I'm going to get you if they hold me back. And that's like, I mean, Brandon would have been there if they just weren't holding him back.
That's me.
Yeah, you really got to pretend to be held back to make it seem like you want to get in that fight you don't want to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So, who for you was the Steve Sanders Memorial worst person of the episode?
I feel like it's got to go to Iris.
It really does. She sucked so hard.
Like, I have other people I could give it to, but no. It's Iris.
It's Iris. Like, in a show of terrible parents, is she the worst one that we've met?
That we've met? Because I know Donna's mom is probably going to take it. Like, I already can't stand this woman.
I have strong feelings about Felice Martin. And so will you when you see the Felice Martin of it all. But, I mean, Jackie's not great, but she's also suffering from an addiction.
Yeah, and she's trying.
She's
Like,
she's doing pretty well right now.
and she genuinely loves Kelly.
Yeah. Iris, I mean,
I do not
she's
feel like she loves Dylan.
I don't feel like I wonder what it is that she does feel towards him. Because it's like it's not obligation. If she felt obligated, she would have been doing other things all along, even if she was forced to stay away.
She is Holly Golightly if she had a kid.
You think so? Yeah.
I think so. Because Holly Golightly loves being eccentric. And, but also, like, clearly she's playing by the rules of society a little bit. I mean, she's still dressing feminine. She's still courting men, just towing the line just enough. But, I mean, she throws her cat out a window for crying out loud to be like, look, I don't care about anything.
Well, thank God cats land on their feet. And then they go lightly. See what I did there? Boom. Nailed it.
Dead.
I was just letting that reaction sit there because I liked it that much.
I'm great at the reactions because that's what good acting is.
Acting is reacting. Boom. Hold me back!
Hold me back!
I'm coming! Yeah. I'm gonna... Dylan, don't worry! If they weren't holding me back...
Any actor can tell you, too. It's really fun when people are actually holding you back, when you can rely on them to, like...
Yeah,
really
so you don't have to pretend like there's gravity. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's actually gravity here. Cool.
Oh, my God. Ouch.
Yeah, I agree. Iris sucks. She's the worst person of this episode.
Yeah, go back to Hawaii.
I'm glad she's gone.
Yeah.
Also,
how dare you be part of colonizing in Hawaii? How dare you?
I know. It's but as I say, I've tried almost nothing and I'm completely out of ideas. Here's some money.
Money, please.
That's what we do here. So join us next week, Cheesemeisters, when we are going to be watching an episode that I personally feel incredibly meh about.
Oh,
I'm as angry about it as Ashes to Ashes. I don't think that Leslie's going to be nearly as angry about it as she was about Iris, because Iris is gone. So
I didn't even realize how mad I was about Iris, but here we are.
I understand. She sucks. Yeah, I don't know. Cousin Bobby comes to town and he's in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that I'm already uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, season 2, episode 11. I feel like at this point you understand that you're probably in for a they tried.
To quote Lana Del Rey, God knows I lived. God knows I lied. God knows I
lied.
God knows I tried.
That's it. And that's what happened here. They tried again. So we'll be back next week, Cheesemeisters. Until then,
bye.
Bye.